Say what? Yeah! Got it. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is a little weird. We can all agree.
Yeah.
This is a little weird.
Bit different.
A little bit different. I don't know if I've even announced this yet, but we're taking a little Twitch break, and that's okay. We're gonna do some other stuff here, including this, which, if you don't know who this is,
Hi.
Most of you know who this is. So this is Lauren, aka Assassin, who you've seen us do. There's stuff happening outside, so if you hear weird noises, I apologize way ahead of time. That's what you get for living in a city. So I'm Sis, or Sydney. This is my channel, and like, we're calling this a podcast. I wouldn't even call it that, because this is going to be like something that we do sort of like whenever it's convenient for us. Ideally, if we can do it once a month, great. But obviously, as many of you know, she lives on the other side of the world. She's visiting me from the UK this week, so I know that's mine. She didn't pack that in her suitcase, by the way. So just so you guys know, we're filming this way in advance. We are hopefully going to film a couple more while Lauren is here in the country with me. Okay, well, here's the first thing. The first thing is we don't really have a title for this.
No.
You thought of a title, and then as we were...
It was a work in progress.
Yeah, as I was setting everything up. So if you've watched my stream before, this is obviously my stream setup, but super zoomed in. Typically, I'm sitting at the desk, and you see like a ton of lights and stuff, which you can't see right now, which is fine. So this room is not really set up for this. Yeah. So she's a little funky. We made it work. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the topic of discussion is very broad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wore my ghost hunter hat for this specific reason, because we like spooky things. We like true crime things. We like
fucked up
supernatural
stuff.
Things. Like so this podcast, I'm gonna call it more like a talk show, because I'm not really considering it a podcast. Is we're gonna tell each other stories that we haven't heard before and like have discussion about them, basically. If you're into that, great. If not, I'll see you do it. I'm gonna play video games too, so I'll see you win one of the video game things. But if you want to hear us like and our bullshit, this is the spot for it. If you are like used to us on Destiny, and now like you can listen to us talk about like things that are also bullshit. Like, watch us scream and rage, watch us be very confused about people and life and the world, whatever.
Possibly creeped out.
Okay, so what I was thinking, because originally I was like, what would we call it? And I don't know, I'm sure there is something like that, but my uncle and my cousin, before he passed away, they always would go, "Say what?" And I feel like that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
But that was like the thing that they would do all the time. And I was like, you know what, that'd be like really cool. And because we're talking about things that they'd be like, "Say, like, what?
Yeah.
What are you on about?"
Say what?
Yeah. So I think like that's kind of what I'm going to just title these. Unless you have you oppose it. So that's what we're going to just be like, okay, so on the count of 3, you and me both have to say what, and then that's going to be like what people hear every time you listen to this.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but I'm not. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Say what? We gotta. Okay, it's fine. We'll make it work. we can also. You didn't do it long enough. It has to be very dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to try one more time?
One more time.
Okay.
Go.
1, 2, 3. Say what? Yeah! Got it. Okay, so today, since this is sort of like an intro to us, if you don't know us and like our thoughts behind certain things, we're gonna start off by just like bringing up some stuff, talking about what we believe in, what we don't believe in. If you don't believe in any of the stuff we talk about today, totally cool.
Yeah.
I get it. Some of the stuff I don't believe in, some of the stuff I do believe in. So your opinion, your thoughts, everything valid. We're okay with it. we're all just going to respect each other and everybody's opinions here because it's literally a stupid show about stupid shit. Okay, cool. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I know the answers to all these, but you don't. So, do you believe in ghosts?
I do believe in ghosts, but I am more skeptical than you, for example. So there's certain things where I'm like, is it really ghostly, or is it just people trying to
trick you
into
like
money making schemes like ghost hunting, but they do all the shit that's like the rattling of the chains and stuff. So I'm a bit skeptical, but I do believe that there is, when people die, that there is spirits and there's ghosts and there's vibes that you can get from those things. But like, you know, a ghostly white sheet going whoo,
right?
No, yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit skeptical. Got to find like some hard, solid proof.
Yeah.
For me to think, bet, gotcha.
Yeah.
I believe that that's the thing, but definitely something out there. 100%. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I vibe with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big supernatural believer for sure. I've had some experiences that we don't really need to go into, like that's a whole other episode situation, but I definitely believe that there is something. I don't really know the proper where, when, or like any of that information, but I do believe that's a thing. So that's one thing. For sure. But I also like know that it's super hyped up. I know people like the trashy ghost TV shows, they're like all fake. Yeah. For sure. That's like a guilty pleasure of mine, but they're not real. There's no way they are. So like if you believe them, spoiler alert, they're not real, but that's okay. Like that's the best thing about them.
Who would go into one of those places and antagonize a spirit or a ghost, which is what a lot of them do in those types of shows as well. So if it is real, the last thing I would personally want to be doing in a haunted place is giving shit to the spooks.
I think that a lot of people do that, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, when you are genuinely doing it, it's very rare to get anything. Yeah. And on those like recorded things that people see, it's like one thing after another, and that's just not real. Yeah. Like, that's not a real thing. So, yeah, I would have to agree with that. But I, like, a lot of people go into those places just preparing to be antagonizing, for sure.
Yeah, don't want that. Nope.
Okay, so a little ghosty vibe. Cool, couldn't tell. Okay, on the opposite vein, do you believe in angels?
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah.
I thought of that and I was like, oh, she could have liked that one.
Okay. I'd like, as in, like, those, I'm trying to think of the word that you call it, celestial, as in a celestial being, or as in somebody's died, they've gone up to heaven, and they've become an angel. Okay. No.
Okay.
So I don't believe, that people like humans could then die and then become an angel. I think I slightly believe in, you know, when people make the comment of you've got a guardian angel looking out for you. I kind of believe that.
Okay.
When things like that happen, you know, like near-death experiences, and it's like, wow, if you'd have just been one step to the left, you could have died. So you've got a guardian angel looking out for you, kind of. That I can take, absolutely. But like,
that's fair.
Celestial beings of big wings, you know, Angel Gabriel, immaculate conception, because an angel has been like, you are now pregnant. Yeah. That I don't believe in.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah, I think I would have to agree. I'm not really a big angel person in whichever way you define it. I think I have to agree with you that I do feel like sometimes, you know, people experience things that they might consider to be that. Yeah. To save a life or whatever. So I understand that side of it, but I would have to agree because I just feel like there's so much more negativity than positivity that I can't really believe that, like, angels are a thing that happen pretty regularly. So, kind of in the same vein, but not as ghosts and angels, demons.
Yes.
Why?
Because there's too much negative shit in the world for it to not be a part of something dark and twisted.
Yeah.
Whether that's like, you know, you've got your mythology around like Loki, the god of mischief, and I'm like, are you a god or are you really and it is a mythological story. We don't know whether like Loki and Thor and all them kind of people exist, which they absolutely do not. It's, you know, work of fiction, but yeah, there's just too much weird stuff and negative stuff in the world where it's like people are to blame, but also there's some other kind of like higher power going on there.
Yeah. A lot of the time I feel like, you know, in relation to ghosts and spirits and hauntings, a lot of the time I feel like that the experiences that people have are negative.
Yeah.
Like, they're not positive things. You know, when families have family members that pass away, sometimes they'll get a little, like, hint that they're, like, around and they're, like, you know, moving on and stuff like that. But that doesn't happen as often as negative all the time. And as somebody who listens to podcasts that are, like, talk about similar things, like that we're talking about, there's so much negative and very little, like, very few in comparison are like, and my grandmother visited me, or my younger child was, like, talking to their grandparent, or, like, you know, who died before they was born.
You never really hear any positive spiritual stories.
And all the
like
stuff that I've experienced has been not great. Where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I feel super uncomfortable. And I'm not someone who... And maybe that's the next question. You know, I have been brought into haunted places because supernatural stuff has always been of interest to me. But when I go into those places, there has been very specific instances where I have felt like a presence or a ghost or whatever. But in my day-to-day life, like, I would never notice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you are just, like, so out of touch that you would never pay attention to that?
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't notice. Like, a lot of people say they get cold spots. Like, you know, you walk through a cold spot and that could be something. I wouldn't notice. I'd be like, oh, I'm just cold.
Yeah, no.
You know, and I am not like you. I avoid haunted places like the plague. I do not want, even though I am a bit skeptical about it all, I am not going into a haunted place to then have, like, a negative spirit attached to me. I am not accepting that energy. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think... I don't go into those places with the intention of interacting.
No, yeah,
So I've done a lot of ghost tours, which is, like, a very big thing in American cities. I don't know how big it is with you.
Fairly, yeah.
But I did a freaking haunted tour in London. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
I'm stupid.
They're everywhere.
It was Halloween and somebody was dressed up. Oh my god, he was terrifying. I was not a fan of him, but he had this, like, dark suit on and he had, like, just dark everything, and he was standing in the middle of the park. It was, like, super dark out. It was creepy. He nailed it. He, like, great job. Whoever you are, it was like a decade ago. Anyway, so we believe in demons for sure.
Yeah.
I would have to concur. I know the answer to this next one.
Okay.
Lauren, do you believe in aliens?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I do. I have seen a UFO. No one can tell me that I haven't. Mm-hmm. You cannot change my mind about that. Aliens are real. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, have to agree. There's no way. We're not the only ones.
No.
If you think we're the only ones, honey.
I don't mean, like, aliens with the big green heads and, like, throwing up peace signs and stuff like that, because they're your work of fiction, you know, but living creatures, living things, it'd be ignorant for us to believe that we are the only, like, life
in the universe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somewhere out there are other beings watching us burn.
Yes, and I am convinced the reason we haven't had an alien invasion is because they've taken one look at our stinking planet and thought, nope, fuck that, I'm out.
Well, I think there was another podcast I was listening to for a while, and It's called Ghosts in the Burbs. If you want to listen to some stuff that's going to like mess you up, you shouldn't listen to it. But I had to stop listening after a certain point because this woman in, I believe she's upstate Massachusetts, somewhere in an area that has been plagued by a lot of weird stuff, including a woman she met who believed that she was abducted by aliens and was experiencing like aliens coming to her and basically being like, yeah, we're just letting you guys destroy yourselves. Like, you're doing a great job. We don't really need to do anything.
Yep.
So, you know, like, we are just checking you out. And, you know, like, I believe it. Like, 1,000%. It wouldn't surprise me one damn bit at all. So, 1,000%, there's other things out there. For sure. They're probably, like, to your point, avoiding this mess to high heaven, which wouldn't...
Absolutely fair.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. And I feel like your alien story is, like, also another...
Yeah.
For those of you who are like, hold on 1 second. Like, we don't have time for that right now, but we will... We'll have a time. We'll have a moment.
We'll revisit...
Promise.
...the UFO
okay.
situation.
Next question. Is there an afterlife?
I believe that there's something when we die. I believe that there's something when we die that can't be it. Mm-hmm. Like, purely because I have lost too many people for me to think they're just worm food in the ground or ashes. Like, my hope for them is that there's something beyond that. I don't think it's like heaven. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think it's like all these angels sitting on white puffy clouds with the big golden gates and St. Peter checking you in and stuff. I don't think it's that. But I like to think that even if it's just a world that your own brain has created, maybe. But I think that there is something after death, whether it's your typical, stereotypical afterlife that's kind of incorporated into different faith and religion. I don't think it's that, but I do think there's something after.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think, I don't know. That's my answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think I'd have to agree. I don't know. I hope just for, like, the amount of really, really awful people there are that have lived, that do live, I do kind of hope there's a hell or a version of it.
Yeah.
For, like, the really messed up people. I think, like, going around and, like, checking off your boxes to make sure you don't get into hell is, like, not a way to live. I think, you know, by that standard, we're all going to hell.
Yeah, because the 7 deadly sins, there's no way that you can spend your entire life avoiding every single one of them.
Exactly. So it's one of those things that you know, for those people, like serial killers, if there's a hell, perfect. Love that. 1,000%. To your point, I have seen stories of people, like, near-death experiences and stuff where people have experienced, like, some really weird things. So my hope would be kind of like yours, that there is something where people can be back together again and everything. And it's not just, like, that's it. Like, no more. Nothing. Yeah. And it also kind of ties in a little bit to sort of like the spirits and the ghost situation that we were talking about, you know, for those few positive instances where it's just like in and out, where do those come from if there's not something?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what the thing is, because I would agree, I don't know if I would consider it like a heaven specific thing, like to your point, but I do
think I do believe in the limbo. You know, the limbo period, that if you've got unfinished business, that's where these negative spirits kind of like come to play. So before they kind of like move on to whatever form of the afterlife it could be, that there is like a limbo period where they either decide, yep, that's where I'm going, or no, I need to hang around for a specific reason. So yeah, I believe that there's the limbo.
I feel like the only issue with the limbo thing is sometimes they don't understand that they've died.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just kind of trapping themselves in that situation. Because I feel like the things that, you know, for really historical places, you know, for example, like battlefields. That's just what happens when there's bloodshed and really, really horrible things happening. So I feel like sometimes that limbo is almost just like a repeat over and over when it's something like really significant like that, which is so sad. Which is like, I can't even imagine just being stuck on repeat and being like, I'm alive still. Yeah. Like, this is just normal.
That you're alive.
Yeah, and then thinking that the living people are the problem.
Yeah.
So I think I think that's probably true, just because all the places that, especially where I've been in America, because I'm on the East Coast, so there's Charleston, Savannah, like all these southern cities that took in slaves and had like all this other stuff going on, all this really traumatic stuff going on. When you have stuff like that happening, I've seen some people who do these things every day and have gotten, like, I saw one picture this tour guide showed me at one point. I think I was in Charleston, and I was like, if I took this picture, he was in an old jail, and there was just hundreds of red people. He just took a picture on his phone, and he left, and then he looked at it after the fact. I was like, I would never be able to do this again.
Yeah.
If I was you. Okay, so I think that does it. We're going to leave this here. We are going to be back, and we will be recording our first 2 episodes. And I hope this helped you guys to get a little bit of an understanding going into this, like where we're both at mentally. We're pretty similar. I think we'll have like very minor differences in like belief systems, but like I totally expect a bunch of people to be skeptics in terms of like afterlife and hell and angels and demons, and like totally fair, totally normal. I just think like it's all a matter of experience and perspective and just like how you approach the world. Yeah. Basically. Like I am not nearly aware enough to pretend like I see ghosts. I'm too lazy for that. So, thank you. Thank you for joining me today here in America.
Been a blast. Yeah,
in America, just for this. And we will be probably in the next like week or 2. You'll see a new episode where we talk about things.
Things.
More things.
Things.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.